It started with over 1 million online gamers competing for the ultimate prize to become a professional racing driver. Now, only 6 remain, and they are within touching distance of realising their dream. Welcome to GT Academy. GT Academy, brought to you by Nissan and PlayStation 3. Well, there are just 48 hours of GT Academy left, and behind me, Des Foley, winner of the UK and Ireland competition, is going through some final fitness stuff with the 5 other contestants. It's a tense time for them, and Des has had an unbelievably tricky week. There have been ups, there have been downs, but he's got to block all of that out because the next 2 days will decide his racing future. Will he be the one to go and race in Dubai?
I'm Des Foley, I'm 24 and I'm from Ireland. I'm a part-time photographer and musician. If somebody offered me a racing contract, I'd drop absolutely everything.
In just 48 hours, Des Foley will battle in the final challenge of GT Academy on Silverstone's Grand Prix circuit. If he wins, he will start his career as a professional racing driver, earning a seat at one of the world's toughest endurance races, the Dubai 24 Hours. But it won't be easy. He'll have to race in the middle of the World Endurance Championships, with both spectators and race teams looking on. Just to get to this point, Des has beaten almost 1 million hopefuls in both online time trials and a national final event. He knows that the outcome of the final challenge will change his life forever. But there are 5 other gamers who share Des's dream to race in Dubai.
Wolfgang Reip representing Belgium, Hugo Goncalves for Portugal, Sebastian Bertrand for France, Rolf Uski for Switzerland, Des Foley for Ireland, Andrea Casaro.
Green. Welcome to GT Academy. Welcome to Silverstone.
At the beginning of the Academy Week, 36 of the fastest gamers from across Europe were divided into different territories, each led by a panel of highly experienced racing driver mentors, including Johnny Herbert, Sebastian Buemi, Danny Kloss, René Arnoux, and Antonio Luzzi.
Come on!
The mentors designed a series of challenges to test the different skills that the gamers would need to become an endurance racer.
Well, fix the thing.
They started with basic car control and taught the gamers how weight distribution can affect the performance of a car. As the week progressed, the challenges got more advanced.
At the moment, they're not ready, far from ready for Dubai.
And the number of gamers got smaller. By the end of the week, the remaining few had to prove that they had made the transition from gamer to racing driver.
That's a real driver.
The mentors were looking for lightning-fast reactions. An ability to master the racing line. And enough mental strength to stay cool in aggressive racing situations.
He's doing it on the inside!
Only yesterday, the most promising gamers were selected to move forward into the final challenge.
When he needed to do it, he was able to actually do it. So I think that was a very good thing on his part.
Des had the tough task of impressing Formula 1 legend and winner of the British Grand Prix, Johnny Herbert, and endurance race specialist Rob Barth to win the UK and Ireland territory. But his week wasn't plain sailing.
Mixed gear. Yeah.
To be 100% when you drive a car is important, I think, and I'm not there, and that's it.
On day 1, Des was the standout driver for the judges when they were put into the sports cars.
I think the main one is Des, to be honest. He was the quickest.
Good job, well done, mate. Thank you.
But then he started to lose his way.
Tyre. There's the tyre clip, mate. Sorry? Clip the tyre then. All right.
With Des, there's always that apprehension. He's going to make a mistake and whiz off the track, and your race will be over.
He's the type of character where he'll either be up or he'll be down. If he doesn't do so well, then expect him to be on the floor.
Before long, he was fighting for his place at the academy and had to prove himself in an elimination race-off.
Fist pump visible from pit wall.
He proved to Rob and Johnny that he had the most potential and was worthy of representing the UK and Ireland territory in the final challenge.
The stopwatch never lies. We've gone with the quickest man.
The guys want someone who's in control of the car, not someone who can just do a quick lap every now and then. And yeah, I think they found that with me.
The first challenge Des faces today is qualifying.
For qualifying, I think consistency is going to be key. So I think just making as few mistakes as possible, but keeping a quick pace as well. For me, the aim would be for a top 3 position, really.
The gamers will get a 20-minute session to set their fastest time on Silverstone's Grand Prix circuit. Their lap times will dictate their place on the grid for tomorrow's final challenge.
Basically, when they go off of the racing line, 1 car and a bit.
Yeah. Do you recommend though braking like 6 foot inside off the racing line as well, and then cutting through the line and then keep it wide?
Yes, yeah, and then, yes, yeah. The racing line will always be rubbery and horrible. So.
Think about keeping the momentum up, be nice and smooth through the quick stuff, particularly with the steering.
Interestingly enough, the #1 car at the moment, Sebastian Bertrand, the French guy, is the one they all want to chase. Des is right on his tail, and Bertrand fishtailed around this corner a bit, and Des is looking very steady.
Yeah, that for Des is very a positive thing. He's seeing someone else on track, he's learning about lines, he's having to think about it. I think he's up for it. I think he's really, really keen to get this job done.
But Des's promising start doesn't last long. He's feeling the pressure and struggling to find the right braking points.
A lot of nervous faces here from right across Europe, and we've got a screen coming up with all their lap times at the moment, and Wolfgang Riep is absolutely nailing it. Our man Des Foley's down in 5th place. He's 1.8 seconds behind the leading man in qualifying at the moment.
With just minutes to go on qualifying, Des has dropped down the order. The front row of the grid has become a battle between Wolfgang Riep from Belgium and Hugo Goncalves from Portugal.
Wolfie! Come on! Oh, you're a killer!
Wolfie closes out the session in pole position. Hugo from Portugal is 2nd, with 3rd place going to the early leader Sebastian Bertrand from France. Des will start tomorrow's race from 5th.
We're going to have to focus on positives.
He's got good car control. That's the good thing with Des. And of course, in those conditions, you want car control. Now we've just got to get that raw speed out of him.
You're 5th on the grid, 1.8 seconds off pole. But you were 2nd for the first couple of laps. You had a cracking start to the session.
Well, it was insane. I mean, that was it, dropped in right at the deep end. Had a good few laps to begin the session, and then I just dropped away as the rain kind of became a bit of a distraction, I think.
Although Des is disappointed, Johnny and Rob want him to learn from his mistakes before he takes on the final challenge.
A big lift or a light brake, both
and then
have
kind
the same effect.
Yeah, that braking issue again. There seemed to be a lot of sort of braking and then a real hard stab on it.
The way you come off the brakes is equally, or even more so, as important as you go on them.
It's 8 p.m. the night before the race, and the gamers have now put the earlier qualifying session to the back of their minds.
Okay, I realise this looks really bizarre, but it's quite normal in the world of motor racing. Often they do this by foot, but you can cycle it. This is quite a long circuit. And the guys are basically doing a full lap of the Grand Prix circuit because they need to see every single lump and bump. So Rob has given them some hints and tips. If you come off the brakes and turn, you'll just cause the car to understeer. I don't really give a monkeys, because I'm on a bike, on the grid at Silverstone, baby. Woohoo!
This is the gamers' last chance to study the track before tomorrow's race.
A cycle around the track enables you to take in all the little details. You can spot ripples and contours in the tarmac. You can take in a massive amount more information.
Trail braking in here all the way. Keep the weight on the car's nose.
Sometimes when you go through a corner really fast, you don't really understand how severe the bend can be, and when you're actually standing out of it, you can look and you can get a feel for where to brake and where you need to clip. Right now we're looking at dry lines pretty much, but if it rains tomorrow, we're going to have to take a completely different approach.
Guys, be really, really careful here in the rain. If you stay on the power, the car will rotate and will turn into the wall. Nissan 370Z will lose in a head-to-head battle with a 1.5 metre high concrete wall.
You get on the grippy line when it's wet, and it's actually just even slippier. You have to take a completely different line through the corners. That's uncharted territory for all of us. If that happens, it'll be very much who adapts the quickest.
Coming up on GT Academy, Des competes head-to-head against the 5 fastest gamers in Europe, and one of them wins the professional race seat in the Dubai 24 Hours.
He's managed to keep the power on and he's challenging for the lead.
GT Academy, brought to you by Nissan and PlayStation 3. GT Academy, brought to you by Nissan and PlayStation 3. The 6 fastest virtual racers from around Europe are moments away from doing battle on Silverstone's Grand Prix circuit. To get to this point, they've beaten around 1 million competitors. Now, after a week of intensive physical and mental training, they meet their final challenge. Whoever wins will go on to race for real at the Dubai 24-hour endurance race. Des Foley represents the UK and Ireland and has got to this point with the help of driver mentors, Formula 1 legend Johnny Herbert and endurance race specialist Rob Barth.
We're 5th on the grid. You've got 8 laps to do a really good job. There's no reason on this planet why you can't do that.
As we said earlier, push, push, push all the time.
To add to the pressure, the final challenge is taking place during an international race meet with spectators and professional drivers looking on.
So Rob, you got a load of novices, you put them on a GP circuit and it's very, very wet out there.
Yeah, really, really wet and challenging. The World Series cars are picking up a lot of water. You can see there's a bit of a drying line appearing in places. As the guys are braking into Luffield here, they're going to have to be really careful that they don't lock the back wheels as they come down the gears, or else we're going to see some action into here, that's for sure.
Look at that spray though, Rob. Oh my goodness. But if you're stuck behind 2 or 3 of the cars in the race, you're not going to be able to see the thing, are you? So what do you do?
You've just got to hold station and bob out when you can to have a little look. It's a massive advantage for the guys in the front.
This rain could be my best chance of a good result, but at the same time, it's complete unknown to me. I've waited 2.5 years for this moment, not just a week, so it's a long time in the making.
With time ticking, Rob headed over to race control. I decided to stay at the top of the British Racing Drivers Club for the best view in the house. Des would start the race from the back of the grid.
Well, welcome along if you are just joining us. This is the European Race Camp final for the GT Academy. Wolfgang Ripe is on pole position in the 6, representing Belgium. Hugo Goncalves for Portugal in the 4, on the outside of the front row. Sebastian Bertrand for France in the number 1 car on the inside of row 2. Rolf Uski for Switzerland in the 5. Des Foley for Ireland in the 2, in the inside of row number 3. And then bringing up the rear in 6th position, Andrea Casaro. Green, green. Yes, it's a decent start. Oh.
Des scrabbles for position from the start, but is overtaken by the Italian Casaro. But the big shock comes as the Portuguese driver misses a gear and falls from 2nd to 6th.
Number 2, looks like Sebastian Bertrand is dropping into 2nd position, and through also has come Andrea Casaro from the back to 4th position. And as they head towards you, Paul, you've got identical cars.
The chap who was right at the back is now making up ground.
He's going for 2nd. Casaro is going for 2nd on Uski. It's the 7 and the 5 side by side as they go onto the Wellington Straight.
The boys are in the track, they are racing, and whoever wins is going to Dubai. So much at stake. It's fantastic.
just dragging it back off what will be very, very slippery curbs.
With Des struggling in fifth, the Italian driver is now challenging for the lead after coming all the way from the back.
Ooh, running out of the track. All the way off the circuit, the number 7 of Andrea Casaro, but he's managed to keep the power on and he's challenging for the lead. Side by side.
4 wheels off.
Is that Casaro?
Yep.
Heading down towards the heavy braking area into what is normally a very quick part of the circuit, but they're feeling for grip at the moment, Paul, and this is very, very tough stuff indeed.
Yes, and right on the limit of adhesion, but it's all about anticipating what the chap in front of you is about to do rather than necessarily taking the ideal line, because what you're trying to do all the time is just get that little bit of an advantage when the chap in front of you might make some kind of mistake.
Everybody had a big slide at Stone. There's a challenge for second place, and there's a little bit of contact there. And it looks like Uski's going to have to go the long way around. He's managed to hold on to it. He was on driver's right, got on the curb, had to roll off the brakes there, and I think he did a pretty good job of keeping the 5 car pointing in the right direction. Having another look at it here on the replay, it was a bold move down the outside by the Swiss banker.
Yes, so number 5 losing out, Ulski losing a position there to the Frenchman, number 1, Sebastian Bertrand, and a battle going on for the last 2 positions as well between 2 and 4, Des Foley and Gonçalves.
Oh, yes. Wolf is pulling away.
Now I have to say that Danny Clos and me were mentoring the Portuguese guy, Hugo Gonçalves. He was starting in second. He had a really bad start and now he's last.
Des holds off the Portuguese driver and makes a challenge for 4th. He forces the French competitor into making a mistake.
That's going to cost him time. Oh, he's got a tank slapper on. Somehow manages with very fast hands to pull the number 1 car back into a straight line. But now he is under pressure from Des Foley, the Irishman, coming from a long way back down the inside, but can't get it done into the club chicane.
Despite a brave attempt, Des stays in 5th. But the race is starting to heat up behind the Belgian leader, Wolfgang Riep.
Still the battle for 3rd that's keeping our attention at the moment, with the Frenchman Sebastian Bertrand going up the inside here. Now can he get late on the brakes? It's slippery on the inside. That's a super manoeuvre.
Isn't it great to see them driving so aggressively after a week?
That was absolutely fair. Rolf was defending. Now he's got the inside for Luffield. There is a bit of grip on the inside there. There's new tarmac. Can Rolf hold on to it side by side? Nice. That's great stuff. That's very respectful driving. I like to call that giving somebody racing room, Lucas. And that's great racing, great driving by both guys.
I can't believe this is their first race. How they managing the overtaking, the braking.
Come on, Des.
It's really, really impressive what they're doing, Jan?
Yeah, I'm very pleased. I'm especially pleased with Andreas, starting last, now he's second, and he's really holding his own, really. He's catching Wolfgang ever so slightly, and he's keeping a bit of a gap to number 5 behind him, Rolf.
You got to remember, when you're playing this at home on your sofa, it doesn't hurt when you crash. So it takes a lot of guts to do what they're doing.
And it is still the man who was on pole, Wolfgang Riep, the student from Belgium, who is holding his own at the moment in 2nd place from the back of the grid. This has been a good drive for Andrea Casaro. And then all of the action for 3rd position, Switzerland versus France. Well, versus everybody, really, because they're pretty much all together there.
Into the final lap, and in front of Des, there's an epic battle for 3rd place. Wolfgang from Belgium has been in the lead since the race start, but he has to hold on, as it's now or never for the 5 cars behind him.
Yeah, starting it now. Yeah.
At the moment, the big battle, as Andrea Casaro has just eased out, maybe a car and a half from 3rd and 4th position, is still Swiss versus French in 3rd and 4th position. Sebastian, I thought Sebastian had run out of ideas actually a lap or 2 ago, and he didn't seem to be making any moves. And as I say that, the Swiss driver goes wide, Paul, and they're going to be side by side through Beckett's.
I don't think side by side through Beckett's works in a 370Z, but he's done it. He's gone up on the inside of the final right-handed portion. Now they're turning left into Chapel, and Bertrand has managed to get himself up on the inside. They're going to hit the checkered flag when they get to you this time.
I can't believe it.
Bertrand has timed it absolutely perfectly.
Exactly as Jan was talking about, a little bit of an outbreaking manoeuvre on himself there by Rolf Ulski has given away third position, Jan. He just missed his, I would say, he missed his braking by not very much.
Yeah, it's tricky going into Maggots and Beckett. So I've been telling the guys it's very. Ooh.
Oh, hang on a second. He's got him back again. Has he got him back again? And they're both sideways in the chicane for the final time. There was a big sideways slide.
Come on, Wolfie!
The winner has gone through. The second place guy has gone through. I can't tell them apart if they go across the line.
As the gamers crossed the line, it was too close to tell them apart. So it's up to Bob Neville, the man who will be their team boss in Dubai, to reveal the winner.
This year's winner of the 2012 GT Academy is Wolf Wright.
I'll never be so happy. It's the most incredible day of my life.
Wolfie's been on top form all week. He's the best driver, you know, that's what this is. It's a driver search and they found it right there. I know I gave it my all. This week has been surreal. I mean, I'm looking forward to getting a bit of sleep and reflecting and taking it all in. But just, yeah, what a story. It's been amazing.
He did a good job. Didn't quite have that sort of speed that we needed from him, but I have to say he did enjoy it, and I think it was wonderful to see him smiling at the end of that race.
To train up 6 complete novices to race that close with so little contact, it's been cool, been really good.
Yeah, and I think that is what has been impressive once again with the Academy.
Navy, we have just unveiled motorsport's newest star.
Next time on GT Academy. We find out if business student Wolfgang Riep can make the leap to racing professionally when he gets to Dubai to compete in his first 24-hour race. GT Academy, brought to you by Nissan and PlayStation 3.